You know what? Maybe buy local. Go to a farmer's market, support your local farmer, all good things.
That's right. I support my local economy by using Uber Eats.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're going to welcome our next live guest for the day. We've got Emmanuel Petrascu with us today. He is joining us from Varsar Alliance. Emmanuel, thank you for being on the show.
Sure thing. Good morning to you both. Thank you for having me on.
Before we dig into a little bit about teamwork, our topic of the day, give us a little bit of an overview about what you do at Varsar and where you guys sit in the logistics space.
Yeah, so I'm a sales and logistics manager. I oversee two teams, a sales team and a logistics team for Varsar. And, just a little overview about us. Varsar is a transportation and logistics company. It was founded in 2018. We're based out of Wayne, Michigan. And our parent company, Folger Transport, and our sister company, USA Folger Transport, run all their freight operations through us. So we kind of serve as the main vein, per se, for our asset divisions. And opening Varsar just opened up, our field of view, allowed us to offer, just beyond direct carrier services, so we're able to offer logistics, brokerage, intermodal, rail services on top of what we were offering before with LTL and truckload.
And Emmanuel, let's jump into some of the things that you hold important there over at Varsar, and that's really instilling that team mindset into the agents. Can you dive into a little bit about that?
Yeah, so with regard to agents, Varsar was, a company founded by agents for agents. And, in order to understand a little bit better about the way we operate, just got to consider how the last couple of years have been, how they've shaped a lot of companies, including our own. You need to take into consideration that the pandemic just took a big hit on everyone, pushed a lot of people to work remotely. So, for a lot of agents that came over, what they said was they were experiencing very little support in comparison. Like if they were getting little support before from their administrators, they were getting even less once the pandemic hit. And once they had to go into working remotely, they lost that team support that they had before. So they kind of had to figure out how to navigate on their own. And that was something that Varsar stepped in right away as soon as the pandemic hit. Andre was on last week with, What the Truck, and he was explaining how Varsar invested heavily in AI and, platform technology in order to accommodate everybody that had, moved into working remotely in order to just satisfy our agents, make sure that, the burden of operating, the burden of performing their daily tasks wasn't weighed down by the fact that they were no longer connected physically with their team. And this is something that I guess a lot of companies have been struggling with because, again, we've got agents coming over telling us, hey, we're getting very little support, very little help from our administrators in prior companies. And, it's all kind of part of a feedback loop that helps us to grow as a company, to understand our agents' needs. And, Varsar seeks to accommodate each agent personally.
So when you're talking about building that team connection, it can be kind of difficult to change the mindset of leadership when you're thinking, okay, how do we accommodate everybody? A lot of the times it was, how do we get everybody to conform to our restrictions to make the world or to make our business work? And now it's kind of, how can we as a business be more flexible to accommodate what people want? How was that mindset shift, or how do you guys see that mindset shift going in the greater groups of companies in logistics as a whole? And you guys are obviously at the leading forefront in that accommodation space. So it wasn't necessarily a hard shift for you guys to make, correct?
Yeah, so again, like I said, our founders, they were agents before, prior to, Folger thinking this up. They were people who worked in the logistics industry in the space before. They dealt with a lot of the frustrations that agents go through. So we truly are a company that was created by agents for agents in order to better serve their customers. A lot of the agents that came over, they realized the inefficiency that, companies were having before logistics companies were having because they weren't investing properly in their agents, So that mindset came with the people. Like, in order for us to grow, in order for the company to operate smoothly, you need to take care of its agents, because at the end of the day, if you take care of your people, they'll take care of your customers. So again, like, our founders believe that you need to find a healthy balance between your customers' satisfaction and your agent satisfaction, rather than just being a numbers and profit margin driven company that's going to lead to burnout, and eventually your agents are going to leave just because they don't feel like they're part of the team, they don't feel like they're valued, they don't feel invested in. So that was a big thing in the company, back in 2018, and even now, everyone that comes over comes with this mindset of, I wasn't listened to before, what can you offer? And then the administrators go and see, how can we offer, how can we serve you, how can we grow you in order to, personally help you grow as an agent and better satisfy your customers and make your operations run smoother.
And Emmanuel, can you touch on that aspect of employee retention a little bit? Because when you look at the supply chain, no matter what segment that you're in, it seems like turnover is just it's a high churn thing. You look at brokerage to brokerage, you look at drivers. Every aspect seems like there's high churn. Can you talk to what really investing into your employees kind of does to some of that retention aspect?
Yeah, so I mentioned like earlier that we kind of work on a feedback loop, like similar to like a thermostat in your house. When it gets too hot, the AC kicks in. When it gets too cold, the heat kicks in. We've got a feedback loop amongst us where, you know, the administrators regularly reach out. Hey, what's working for you guys? What's not working for you guys? What can we change? What can we do? What can we invest in order to make your life easier as an agent, help you and your team grow, help you perform your daily tasks better? And that's led to us having a 0% turnover rate over the last 4 years. We haven't had any agents leave. All we've had is growth. So we went from a handful of agents to 60 agents and 87 total employees over the last 4 years. And just quarterly, we're growing because, again, a lot of people are bringing that frustration of not being listened to and heard and not having the feedback from their previous, companies and teams that they were working with. Our goal is to invest in the agents, to give them what they need to hear, when they have a frustration, when something's not going how they need, when something like, for example, a tool or the platform or their TMS isn't working properly, what can we change? How can we, fix that in order to make them successful in their daily operations with their team, so that way they feel happy to work and to grow and to be a part of the investment and a part of the company.
A 0% turnover statistic is absolutely incredible to see, especially in a time and place where the employees have a ton of upper hand. What type of feedback have you guys received from your employees who maybe joined pre-pandemic and then stayed through and then got the other employees now post-pandemic in? What type of feedback have you guys received from that? And was there an adaptation that allowed that 0% turnover to happen?
Yeah, so again, a lot of the employees agents that have come over since, even from the beginning, but especially since the pandemic started, they really like the fact that our administrators regularly reach out monthly. Whether it's directly to the managers like myself or to each agent that makes up each team, they reach out regularly and ask them, hey, what are you struggling with? Is there anything we can do to invest in you? Whether that's, new software, new TMS, new tools, anything that you need in order to do your job better. And a lot of the agents like that because before, they were just part of the company and had that company mindset. They're just another piece of the puzzle. Here, each agent, the administrators take it personally to reach out to them, regularly check in with them. Again, make sure that they're part of that feedback loop to tell them this is what's working, this isn't what's working. And a lot of the agents that have come over since are really happy, myself included. We're happy with the fact that we're being heard and listened to. And again, not just working without having someone there to support us. So that support has been really important from the administrators that I felt personally, that my team felt personally, and that other agents and managers have felt personally that I've talked to.
Awesome. And Manuel, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Real quick, if people want to reach out, get in touch, how can they do that?
Sure. If you want to be a part of a company that seeks to grow you and help you grow and that you would like to grow with, reach out to us via LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Emmanuel Petrascu, and a great way to reach out to us would be going to our company, varsaralliance.com.
Awesome. Thank you for being with us today. Great to have you as always.